Generational trauma. Hi, welcome to The Growth Bound. My name is Rue, and I'm on a mission of finding our inner power to change and grow and heal. Generational trauma occurs when something happened to our ancestors. It could be our grandparents, it could be our great-great-grandparents, it could be great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, but something very traumatic occurred. And usually it is so big that it twisted their mindset, that it changed their perception of the world. Usually this big event are wars, genocide, discrimination, big natural disasters, something that was outside of their control that occurred that usually took a lot of things from them. So an example of this time, let's say our grandparents went through a war. Our grandparents had witnessed horrible things during this time period, and unfortunately they have lost a lot, if not everything. It could be family members, it could be friends, it could be social status, it could be financial status, anything and or everything. If our grandparents didn't heal in proper time, maybe they didn't have the right tools, maybe they didn't have the right support to help them heal from it and let go of this trauma, they will unfortunately, unaware, pass down that trauma to their own children. So the loss is passed down to the children. Because our grandparents started to perceive the world in unsafe environment, as if it is unsafe, a scary place, they start living in survival. And as they were living in survival, their children came to life surrounded in an environment that is based on survival and based on limitation and based on such belief. So our parents learned laws at the young age outside of their own control, and that limitation, that survival, brought them the feeling of powerlessness, that they had no control in changing their environment, in changing their situation, in changing anything in their life. And unfortunately, if our parents don't heal from that too, don't let go of that perception, don't let go of that feelings of that trauma, they themselves remain in survival mode. And unfortunately, that powerlessness is then taught to their children, and we believe that we are powerless. We start to believe that we have no control of our own life. We start to believe that the world is limited. There's no way out. There is poverty, and we have no strength or power to change anything. We continue on living in survival, and because we feel powerless, we start to see and perceive ourselves as victims. And here is the thing, the trauma creates the perception. This perception is not true. We are not victims. We are not powerless. But because this is how we were brought up to believe, this is how we see it. And until we heal from such trauma, and until we stop the trauma from passing on, it will be passed on to our own children. Our own children will believe that they are victims. Our own children will believe that they are powerless. And because them being raised in such environment, such perception, our own children will give away their power to someone else who most likely will use them and abuse them. And again, because we are powerless and we are victims and life is unfair, life is limited, there's nothing we can do to change, to make it better, we start to find someone else to save us because we're the victims. The only thing that actually occurred, the event was this war that led to loss for our grandparents. and it been slowly passing down to us. The only time it will stop is when someone chooses to make a decision to heal and not be defined by this trauma, not be defined by the way we were raised, not be defined by all of this passage of time. We are our own beings, and until we let go of that trauma, we won't be able to bring out our unique selves, and it will be pushed down to our own children. Here's something we must remember. What had occurred, let's say the war, it is not our fault. It is not your grandparents' fault. The way we were raised or our parents were raised, it's not our fault. It's not our parents' fault either. But it is our responsibility to heal. It is our responsibility to change. It is our responsibility to stop the cycle before it continues. And yes, before you came along, it was your parents' responsibility to heal, but they made a choice not to. And this is not something to blame someone else. It is taking the first step, owning up, taking responsibility, and changing the flow, changing the perception, changing the beliefs, changing that trauma, letting it go, and erasing it from going forward. We cannot change the past, but we can take charge to change the future. We are not going to blame anyone because it will not do any good to anybody, because at the end of it all, it's not really anyone's fault, but responsibility was given to us, and nothing will change until someone takes the first step. And I'm challenging you to take that first step. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to help me grow, and share this video with someone that you think will benefit from, because sharing is caring. And the more we accept, the more we take responsibility, the better we will be for ourselves and everyone else. The sooner we can bring our unique selves out and create and provide these beautiful beings that we are into the world. I am excited to see that. I'm excited to see your colors. I'm excited to see you for who you are. So let us take that first step and enjoy the journey that we've chosen.